Harry and Meghan are back in the news, eager to remind us all how they just want a simple, quiet life in their California mansion. I mean, just because they had a televised interview with Oprah Winfrey in front of 17 million viewers, and now Harry's writing a tell-all memoir, that doesn't mean they don't want their privacy. In fact, if you watch any of their interviews or read any of their books, you'll frankly know better than a peeping Tom. There were rumours that Harry's deal with his publisher was for 4 books, although this has now been denied. Just as well. I mean, surely one book is more than enough to spill the beans stroke get his revenge on his family members. No doubt he'll also use the opportunity to lecture the public again about why they need to check their privilege, even though he is an actual prince. Of course, a lot of people have accused him of being hopelessly uxorious, a mere puppet of his wife. Meghan certainly appears to have done a fantastic job of turning Harry into a progressive icon for the Instagram generation. Since they met, he's taken up meditation, yoga, tantric embroidery, probably. He's also totally renounced alcohol, cigarettes, caffeine and all other known forms of joy. And he hasn't worn a Nazi uniform for ages. So, well done, Harry. In the US, Democrats have introduced a bill to rename over 1,000 forests, lakes and mountains that have offensive connotations. The bill was introduced by Senators Edward Markey, Al Green and Elizabeth Warren. You remember Elizabeth Warren. She was the one who said that she was Native American and later had to apologise because, you know, she's not Native American. I think she'd seen Dances with Wolves and got a bit overexcited. J.K. Rowling has been subject to further online abuse after she posted a tweet drawing attention to the kind of vitriol she receives on a daily basis. This Twitter troll had said, "I wish you a very nice pipe bomb in mailbox." As Rowling pointed out, when you can't get a woman sacked, arrested or dropped by her publisher and cancelling her only made her book sales go up, there's really only one place to go. And she's right, you can't cancel the world's most successful author, but you can libel her as a transphobe, smear her as hateful and pretend she said extremely bigoted things about minority groups even though she hasn't. Much of the abuse she receives is openly misogynistic in nature, including rape threats and overtly sexualised imagery, but the woke left are suspiciously quiet about all that, and many seem to be actively encouraging it. The trans youth charity Mermaids even claimed that by drawing attention to the abuse she receives, Rowling is, quote, casting trans people as a threat to women. That is, she is apparently manipulating public opinion to hurt a minority group. But of course, she's said nothing of the kind. Not that it matters. We have to remember that culture warriors are, by and large, occupying a fantasy realm, one determined by lived experience, rather than objective truth. It doesn't matter that Rowling supports trans rights and has never said anything transphobic. Activists have decided otherwise, and they are impervious to facts and reason. This is what hysteria looks like. Ben & Jerry's are at it again. As I've mentioned before on this programme, the ice cream company loves to berate its customers about politics. This time, they've implemented an Israeli boycott and will no longer be selling products in the West Bank settlement and East Jerusalem. Just think, all this time, politicians and peacemakers have struggled to find a solution to the conflict in the Middle East. And now, finally, we have it. By depriving Israeli citizens of the delights of Chunky Monkey, Caramel Choo Choo and Truffle Kerfuffle, they'll have little choice but to get around a table and settle their differences once and for all. Never underestimate the power of overpriced novelty ice cream. But there are similar developments closer to home. Leeds City Council has said that it wants to launch an investigation into Parkin, a traditional Yorkshire cake made with ginger and treacle. Apparently, the council wants to explore the cake's connections with the slave trade because, well, there's lots of sugar in it, and cake was invented in the 18th century when sugar was sourced through slavery or something, so the cake is basically a symbol of colonialism. For God's sake, it's a cake. It's just a cake. Let people eat their cake in peace and stop hectoring them, will you? God, it's just endless, isn't it?